Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be interviewing a very chameleon-like character actress. You may know her from The West Wing, Mindy Seeger. She's been out of the game for a little while because she's painting now, but we'll be talking with Mindy Seeger about her career highlights and her painting today. And I'm pretty excited because she's a very talented lady, and apparently a nice lady too. I've only talked to her in email, but she seems very nice. And so, yeah, I will be talking to Mindy Seeger in just a moment.
Hello?
Hey, Mindy.
Hey, Tommy.
How are you?
Good, Don. How are you?
I am just super. Oh, it is such an honor to not only be speaking with you, but also taking your podcast virginity.
I know. Be gentle. The first time is really never that good.
Oh, it never is. Oh, my God.
So how long do we do this for?
For however long you wish. It's usually, depending on how much the body of work is, it's usually a half an hour.
Okay, beautiful.
Awesome. So when did you know that you wanted to be an actress?
When I was about 8 years old, what I knew I wanted was attention.
Yeah.
I'm the middle child of 5, and this girl at camp once told a joke that I didn't understand, and it was this whole insane joke about a girl being hit by a train, and her body parts are everywhere, and she's picking up all the pieces and puts them all together on the train track and then says, "Sarah, pull yourself together." And everybody in camp laughed. So I tried it out on my parents, and they thought it was hysterical. And I loved that moment.
Wow.
A moment of total attention on me.
I have a very dark sense of humor, so I think that's just awesome. So the first role I see that was significant was one of my all-time favorites, Kate's Secret.
Now, why is that your favorite? All the eating?
No, not necessarily that, but I just love the performances of everybody, and everybody in it is well known and so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful movie, and the funniest thing was lunchtime, actual lunchtime on the set,
Mm-hmm.
and then trying to fill your tray in a way that didn't make you look anorexic or bulimic. It was very tricky. Everybody was looking at each other's food tray.
Now, was anybody on the set really bulimic or anorexic?
You know, I think everyone identified with the idea of having some kind of weight issue or perception of self or wanting to change the parts of themselves that weren't perfect. So I think that can happen with anyone. I mean, certainly actors or anyone who feels maybe not as secure.
Right. Yeah.
But we're also very happy to work.
Yeah.
If we would have had any disorder, I would have had any disorder you needed me to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the role of Marky has always struck a chord with me. I just love that, that wisecracking New York Jewish girl type,
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So was it a simple audition?
My sister, it was an audition, but my sister wrote the script.
Oh.
With another woman and had me in mind. She even named the character Marky, which is awfully close to Mindy. But I still had to audition for it and win it. But I feel like I didn't have to stretch that far. Because she did kind of write it with me in mind. So I was very blessed. And it would have been horrible if I had not gotten it when I was so close to it.
Nice. Yeah, I remember seeing it over 20 years ago. I used to own it. I taped it off of like the Lifetime Network, I just
Yeah.
used to watch it over and over again because I love the performances. And I love the scene where you come down hard on Meredith Baxter during the group therapy session. It's so touching and so funny. I love how you do that sarcastic clap after she lets her feelings out.
Oh my God, you really do remember it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, Meredith is so wonderful, and everybody was so great to work with, and such nice people. So it was really a little challenging in the moment to be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the acting thing, right?
Yeah. And let's see, Ed Asner, he was great in it.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing group of people. I mean, in your email, when you said you liked it, for a minute I thought, oh my God, all the cool people that were in it.
Oh yeah, Ben Masters, very underrated actor.
Yeah.
Liz Torres, she's a funny lady. And
And how about Tracy?
Tracy Nelson, yes.
How about Mackenzie? I mean, oh my God.
Mackenzie, I'm Facebook friends with. I'm trying to get her for an interview.
Oh God, are you going to be my Facebook friend, I pray?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, good. I want you.
Oh, awesome. And then you did a movie called Cold Steel.
Okay, that's hysterical. Mario Puzo's daughter, Dorothy, it was her film and her first directing gig. And she was a doll. Everybody was a doll. But Sharon Stone was in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of her first.
Yeah. Also lovely. And Brad, I want to say Davis.
Right.
And, oh my God, please give me the memory. The guy, and he's so good. Help me.
Jonathan Banks?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about that?
Oh, and what about the rock star Adam Ant?
Yeah. Oh, wow. But at the time, you're just thinking, oh my God, I got a job, I get to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brad Davis. He's also an underrated actor, and he sadly passed away of AIDS. He was great in Midnight Express.
One of my favorite all-time movies.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped me from being a drug dealer.
Really? You deal drugs?
No. It stopped me. Because after you see that movie, you're like, no, I'm not going to deal drugs or travel out of the U.S.
Yeah.
That was the most frightening movie ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's scary.
No, it was fun to do that movie. But it's really, the way I feel is I feel I'm very lucky and blessed that I got to work.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody can be a star, but it's so great to be in the game. Like the Olympics, not everybody's going to get a medal, but how great that you were in the Olympics.
Right.
That's kind of what I feel about my career is I got to be in the Olympics.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, I know everybody wants the gold medal, but I don't know that life works that way or that it's right for every person.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us have to just be team players or be part of a whole. And there's something really beautiful about that. And what a miracle to just be totally feeling gracious about whatever you're giving and not all judgy about it.
Yes.
Like it's not enough.
Yes, that's true. And then you did 6 episodes of one of the very first Fox series, Duet. And I don't even remember that show, but what was that experience like?
Well, there again, you're happy to pick my sister's show. My sister, Susan Seeger, created that show. And again, I had to audition.
Mm-hmm.
And I nailed it. And she may have had me in mind when she wrote the character, because it was tailor-made for me. Sarcastic, some of the best writing, best jokes I ever got to deliver. Because I think she knew my style, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I auditioned for it, and I got it, and I felt kind of lucky and blessed. And then the torture time they did a takeoff on, what was that movie with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas where they put the bunny in the pot?
Fatal Attraction.
Okay, so they did a spoof on Fatal Attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister was delighted to have me put in the tightest dress you've ever seen. I played the crazy person.
That's
and
awesome.
Just, you know how sisters are. They just want you to wear that one outfit. She's my older sister. So they just want to torture you on some level and put you in a body-tight dress that you would never, do. Anyway, I looked great, but... and it was so hysterically funny. I think someone posted it on YouTube, but I haven't been able to find it.
Oh.
But literally, I'm torturing the lead guy, and I'm acting all Glenn Close in the tightest dress I've ever worn, and I've never worn again.
Wow, I should try to find that episode. That sounds
funny.
funny.
Oh my God, I thought it was very clever.
And Jack Lemmon's son Chris was in it. What was he
Yeah.
like? What was he like?
And my last show was The West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
That may be on your list. Is that on your list at all?
Of course.
Okay, it's probably at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was so interesting about that show, first of all, I had 7 years of saying, CJ. But what was funny is sometimes you take a job and you're just thinking, okay, I have nothing to do. Sure, I'll just do the pilot. And they say it'll be a recurring role, and you're like, yeah, sure. But this actually turned into a recurring role. And it lasted for me for 7 years. And then what's fascinating about life sometimes is, so I had a recurring role. I had a gig that was going to keep happening, and they were very good to me, and they were, I did a good job, and everybody was happy. So I always knew that West Wing was going to call for the run of the 7 shows. And to me, I was just doing the pilot, and I was over it. But then what happened is these life events, the start of 2nd season, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh.
And I didn't tell them because I didn't want to be perceived as sick.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to work. And I thought it was just going to be a quick little thing, and then I'm done. And then it turned out they couldn't get a clear margin. So I literally had to have 3 surgeries and then eventually a double mastectomy. Mm-hmm. But here's the amazing thing. After each surgery, I got better faster because I knew that eventually West Wing would call. And it maybe sounds like a silly thing, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like I wanted back in my life, and at the moment that represented life. And the only time I couldn't do it was after the double mastectomy. They had tried to book me, and it was a Jewish holiday, so I just said, it's a Jewish holiday, I can't. I just didn't want to say, I had cancer because I thought, that's all they would think. That's all anyone would remember. But the amazing thing is, so the show really helped me, and then I don't want to just be sad and depressing, but a year later or something, a year and a half, my mother died, and I didn't want to leave the house, and then West Wing called and booked me for 4 days' work. So it was just funny, this job, sometimes we don't know what we're given.
Right.
And we get this opportunity, and we think, oh, this is about SAG insurance or, me getting noticed. And it was really about just kind of helping me through a very difficult time. Because it's kind of miraculous when you have to show up or you want to show up. It gave me an opportunity to do that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I had a car accident 3 years ago, and I spent 30 days in a coma.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And
it changed you completely.
Oh. Well, not completely, but it sure did change my perspective on life.
Right. And that, this is so brilliant. If you don't mind me getting deep and spiritual here,
go ahead.
That's the whole point. And that I also wrote a book, Relatively Random Musings. It's in the book. But the whole thing is, sometimes life happens to us. Like that double mastectomy changed me. And we think, oh, God, I don't want that. Like no one says, oh, I'll take a double mastectomy or coma. But it it's the actual event that changes your life completely, because you start to wake up on a soul level. And all of a sudden what wasn't important is, you know,
Right.
what you didn't care about, you do. You see things differently. You become a different person. And a lot of times we focus on the thing that happened instead of knowing that the real gift was, although painful and horrific, the real gift was the change. Like, you are literally stepping on your life path, on your soul path.
Right.
That although it was painful, and I'm so sorry, Tommy, but you totally understand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the best thing that ever happened to me, because I wouldn't be pursuing my dream. I wouldn't be talking to you or all the other 87 guests I've had on the show. I mean,
Oh my God.
It's been profound.
Yeah, and I feel so touched and like crying. I don't want to sound like a crazy emotional person, but like, that's the whole point, and a lot of people don't get it. That sometimes life happens to us like life is going to happen to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the change that is brilliant beyond comprehension. So the thing that seems so horrible is actually the thing that turned your entire life in another direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
So then you got to be in the 976 Evil movies, and the first one was directed by none other than Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund.
Yes.
What was he like to work with?
Oh my God, so much fun. First of all, you had to stop seeing him as Freddy Krueger, which is a little difficult.
Yeah.
Like, when Freddy Krueger says, "Stand here," you're like, oh God, he's going to kill me. It was so much fun. And at like 6 a.m., I had to lie on the dirty Hollywood street with fake glass sticking out of my face,
Yep.
fake glass in my hair. They're setting electronic devices to, like, explosions around my hair. They have me partially on the curb and partially lying in the street. And Hollywood is pretty disgusting.
Yep.
To lie on that street.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but they pay you, you do it, and you're like, oh God. Anyway, it was so much fun because I love dying in movies. I don't know why. That's maybe a dark part of me. So they start the explosions, and all of a sudden I think, you know what, Mindy, this is a low-budget film, and you didn't even ask them if they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I started to panic a little bit, but I came out of it in one piece.
Wow. Yeah, I was at a horror convention last year. Robert Englund was there, and I didn't get a chance to meet him because his line was all the way out the door. But hopefully I'm going to meet him at this Comic-Con next month. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to die in the film.
And then in the second one, you worked with Jim Wynorski.
You know, I don't know why. I don't remember working on the second one, but maybe they used the clip from the first one.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know how many times you can kill me.
Yeah. I remember you were on an episode of Married with Children that had the Village People in it.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so much fun. First of all, the greatest people to work with.
Yeah.
Mindy Seeger, and of course the Village People. Everybody on the set was fabulous. And it was Married with Children, so that was cool. That was cool right there. But then when the Village People walked in, you're like, okay, can I have a picture?
Yeah. I remember that episode.
Yeah, no, that was a cool one. And I got to work for the X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
The real one.
Yep.
Not the new one.
That was a good experience?
Yes, and they kept making me audition. There were like 3 callbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And they had just moved to Los Angeles to shoot, so that's why I got a chance.
Yeah.
And they kept calling me back. And then I'm like, give it to me already. After the 3rd callback, I'm like, where is the confusion, man? Just give me the gig. So they gave it. And do you know who's in it? Like, And I didn't even remember that because he wasn't the Breaking Bad guy at the time.
Bryan
Breaking
Cranston.
Bad guy.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, and there was an exploding ear. It was very exciting, and I played a coroner.
Uh-huh.
I mean, a girl's dream come true, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a highly spiritual, soulful side to me, and a little bit of a dark side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we all have that.
Yeah, I think it perfectly balances us out.
You worked with Ivan Reitman on Junior and Father's Day. What's he like to work with?
It was so, first of all, he's so clever. And a guy like Ivan, first of all, you feel amazed you're there. And then you just want to do the best job you can. And in Junior, I was working with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I got it in my mind, I have a deep voice, as you know.
Yeah.
So I got it in my mind to imitate Arnold, to talk in a monotone, because I was his assistant.
Right.
So he would say, "Get me the blood," and I'd go, "Okay." And Ivan liked it. Like I just did it at the table read.
Mm-hmm.
And then he liked it. And then I was stuck doing it for the entire movie.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, God. And I had to hold a chimpanzee. Which is, and you know, I like animals, but at a distance. And this chimp just hung on to me. And then I would get home and like late at night after working all day, and I would just try to make some soup or dinner, and everything I ate smelled like chimp. I don't know how that happened. I just couldn't get the chimp out of me. And I was terrified inside. I don't know why, I just was.
You got a
So
monkey
I had
on
to
your
like
back.
pretend like this was normal. And then I'm trying to talk, and the chimp found something on my face it wanted to play with. So I was like, oh my God, and you're touching me. This chimp is hugging me and touching me.
You got a monkey on your back.
Yeah, monkey on my back, hysterical. Very funny.
And then you played the lead in a movie called Sister Sensei.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now.
I never seen that.
Okay, and they make a lot of fun of it. It's a very 70s. My brother David Seeger, all his life he wanted to make a movie and have me be in it, and we kind of wrote it together. Mm-hmm. As it was, he's a black belt in karate, also like a filmmaker. And I would fly him to New York, and we were just like making this movie that was his dream. And he made this thing called Karate Rap. You could find it on YouTube because it's supposed to be the worst 70s rap ever made. So that's my brother's David.
Crazy.
Yeah. And he put my parents in. It was so great. My parents are deceased now.
Yeah.
But it's like the best home movie. And I'm so glad he did it. At the time, I was like flying back to New York, like, 7 times, and we just shoot a little more. Mm-hmm. And at one point, his DP said, "Where are the words? Some of it's improv. We just make it up as we go along." And his wife, Holly Woodstock Seeger, a very talented animator and artist, she would animate, and I mean, it was crazy. But you know what? When you talk about dreams, wherever they go, it doesn't matter. You're putting it out into the universe, and the energy and the vibration of it lives on, and plus, your soul needs to do it. I think that whenever, like, most of us don't want to do anything ever. Yeah. But when there's energy moving you, you got to trust that energy. Because there's something about it that's going to feel special, heart-touched to you. Like what you're doing with your podcast.
Yeah.
It means the world. And it's changing you. In a good way.
Very much so. Very much so.
If I could jump in, I've been an artist for a lot of years, and an actress.
Yeah.
Never a writer. And I don't know, this may make me sound a little crazy. I heard a voice and kind of inside just prompting me to make one post, write one thing on Facebook. And I said, no. My response when I am guided is always to say no, and then I yield. But I like to say no 3 times just to prove I'm in charge or pretending to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was very afraid and not even sure where the commas go. Excuse me. And I made one post and thought everybody's going to kill me, say negative things. I made one post and everybody seemed to like it. So I made another one and another one. And I was doing something I didn't even know I could do. Because writing's not my thing. I'd rather make a vague painting and have you guess at it. Anyway, I put 69 posts together, and then I was done. I may never write again, but I was supposed to do it, and then I felt I was supposed to put it out into the universe, and that took a year, and, now I have this book on Amazon, Relatively Random Musings, and my heart and soul is in it, and it has its own life. Like, it doesn't have to be a bestseller, but if I touch one person, then wow. So I really trust that sometimes we do something and we don't even know why we're doing it. And yet it will have its own life, its own energy. And also a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I say, oh, I'm not this, I can't do that. And it's like, oh, babe, you're more than you know. You don't even know all that you can do.
Right.
So that's the hardest thing I think about life is to stop telling myself what I am and am not or always have to be or listening to old ideas about myself.
Yeah. I've pretty much stopped all that, and I just, do what I want to do and just, listen to that.
Right, and that was from the coma, right?
Right.
That was the hidden blessing. This terrible thing happened that changed you completely.
Mm-hmm. So the West Wing was a good experience then?
It was so wonderful.
Are you happy?
It was really wonderful.
Are you happy that Allison Janney won the Academy Award?
Oh my God. She was wonderful then. She's wonderful now.
Mm-hmm. I love her. She's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a wonderful part. That was a wonderful movie.
Yeah. So when did you decide you were going to leave show business and go into art?
Well, while I was acting, I started to feel like I needed an expression that was in my control. Because when you act, they edit you. They cut you. They take your part away. They take your jokes away sometimes.
Yeah.
Or write you jokes that aren't funny. Anyway, and I started to need to express myself. And like I said before, I was someone who I didn't really have words to express what I felt. And so I started to make this very kind of colorful, disturbing art that was expressing, it was kind of my healer. It was expressing whatever I was going through. Like when I needed eye surgery, I painted a lot of eyeballs. If I had wounds, we all have wounds, internal wounds from the past. So I would paint these figures with no heads and great scars or bodies divided in two. And when I had breast cancer, I made paintings, of breasts floating up to heaven and doctors cutting me. But it's all in such cheerful colors like that at first you do a double take and you're like, what am I looking at? And then you see the knife or the scar or the blood. And also on my website, MindySeeger.com, you can also find the version of Breast Heaven, a Cancer Story.
Right.
So I was telling my story and in the same time healing myself by using art. So art has always been my healer.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
And I never had my words. That's why I'm shocked I wrote a book. Seriously, like I didn't. I needed the art. And then it changed. If you don't mind, I think I started to find, I took that chance and started to write that post. And then here's the other thing which is crazy, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, crazy Facebook, right?
Yeah.
People don't realize, and I'm sorry, like we all have need like a little encouragement in life. Like, people don't realize, like, if they had like bashed me or said your commas are in the wrong place, or no one puts an apostrophe there, or, you know, something negative, I might never have done the second post. That the slightest bit of encouragement, I may have done it anyway, but I think people don't realize how the smallest act of encouragement, all those people had a hand in helping me to create it. And just this thought kind of blows me away that the smallest act of kindness and encouragement can create an entire book.
They can go a long way.
Yeah, no, because we all need that. Like, if someone says, Tommy, man, I love your podcast, and you're like, thank you. That helps me. That makes me bolder, braver. And it's not wrong that we need that. But if you tell someone they look good, you see the whole energy of them change.
Yep.
So I think people don't realize how much good they can do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Or the power of them.
Yeah, we're in a different time now. People are just so strange.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I had a talent for painting. The only thing I'm good at painting is my toenails. That's it.
That is an art.
Yeah.
Not easy to do.
No.
And then when my mother died, I wanted desperately to reach her in the spirit realm, but I kind of didn't know how, and I started to carve wood to make these kind of spiritual objects that I was hoping would connect me to her, and I was making wands. And then at one point, I started to make vibrational art. I would close my eyes. I read about this in an old book. I took a pencil and closed my eyes and let my hand move separate from my body. And I failed the first 3 days. My hand was so heavy, I thought it would never move. And on the third day, it moved a little. And then each day, it moved a little more. And then I started to make, also on my website, these spirit drawings with my eyes closed, that I was channeling somehow otherworldly, angelic, and beyond. That's what a medium friend of mine told me. It was incredible.
Oh yeah, I've had a few supernatural encounters since it happened.
Since your accident.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I was at the Comedy Store 2 years ago, and I felt the presence of so many dead comedians in that place. I mean, the place is haunted already. Everybody knows it. But, like, it was even more relevant for me when I was there.
And what were they saying to you?
They weren't saying anything. I just felt the presence of them. But I had this sense of, I felt like I belonged there.
Yes, I was just going to say, you were taking your place among the comics.
Right.
They were surrounding you, and they were not above you or below you, they were alongside you.
Yes.
What a beautiful thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you have a book out, you said?
It's called Relatively Random Musings. And it's spiritual, soulful, maybe clever, periodically clever, maybe funny. And I'm very proud of it. Some people who have read it are like reading it again. It's not a giant book. It won't take you that long. Or they're reading it like a little bit each day, or they keep it by their bed. And a lot of people told me they're going to get them for friends as Christmas gifts. So December should be a good month. But it's really about life and like the experience you had, you know, how your soul was awakened. In one of the posts I'm saying, you know, you didn't kill me, but you changed me.
Right.
You didn't break my spirit, but you altered the trajectory of my life. And it's a lot about the Coleman, for me, breast cancer, and the loss of my mother, and 9/11, you know, and all the things, life events that alter you. And in the post, I'm saying that it's a spiritual chiropractic adjustment that realigns my essence.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in there also, it's like when my mother died, I was trying to reach her, and I started to use two different colored pens, and I would write to her, and then give her a colored pen. She was dead, but I was pretending and judging, like I'm sure, like, this isn't real, this isn't happening. But I was so desperate to connect with her. So I would write and change pens and let her write to me. And at first I thought, well, you're just saying what you think she would know. And and again, this is in the book, but once I was going on in my grief and loss, because grief is horrible and very messy.
Yeah.
And I was going on being to Mindy, and I changed pens, and the first thing my mother wrote was, "Finally you give me the pen." And I laughed out loud. It was definitely something she would have said. Like, I didn't think that. It was something she would have said when she was, like, exhausted by me. And when I looked back on that writing, like years later, after I had evolved, it's a process. We move. If you have a desire, you evolve. And if you're not interested, then you're not interested. But years later, I looked at the writing and I started to cry, and I thought it was so much more spirit connected than I had dared to believe at the time.
Right.
And I could really feel and know that, she was there helping me. Why wouldn't she help me? Why wouldn't the dead help us as much as they can?
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of stuff. In one, I talk about my name. I'm named Mindy.
Yeah.
And I just talk about, like if you think Mindy's coming to dinner, you hear someone named Mindy's coming to dinner, you might think you need a booster seat, because it's a child's name. And I talk about how the Mindy bar is very low. I have never heard of anyone named Mindy doing anything remarkable.
Yeah.
So I talk about all the illusions that we have with our name. Tommy's a good name, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, Mindy, I have to say, I like you a lot. You're very insightful and dark, and I love that.
Thank you.
Yes. And not only have you earned to be my Facebook friend, but you also have earned my cell phone number.
Oh, thank you, honey. We're going to be friends now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we totally are. And I was very moved and touched by the life event that changed you.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, I have to say. Yeah, I spent 5 months in the hospital. It was not fun, I'll tell you.
Yeah. But you're back now.
Yes.
Tommy?
Yes.
You're back.
Absolutely.
And you're back with a new sense of direction and confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And you trust the divine plan for your life more.
I sure do.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Mindy. I'm so glad we got to do this.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. It was lovely to speak to you.
Yes, and I'll be in touch in a bit, and you have yourself a great rest of your day.
Okay, you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Mindy Seeger. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Mindy. That was a very moving, insightful interview, and I'm so glad I got to take your podcasting virginity. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page, and follow me on Twitter and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.